Gentlemen and ladies, it is time for some new BigTuna content. Today we actually have a pretty interesting video. So we are talking about the new PvP talent that is being added for all Shaman specs. And that PvP talent is called Burrow. Okay, this is pretty cool. If you've been on Twitter, you have Shamans, and people who don't even play Shamans are actually pretty excited for this ability. Why? Because it's unique, it's interesting, it's fun, and it just sounds cool. So let's read this off, alright? Burrow, 2-minute cooldown. Burrow beneath the ground, becoming unattackable, removing movement impairing effects, and increasing your movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds. When the effect ends, enemies within 6 yards are knocked up into the air and take 20,000, physical damage. Alright, sounds pretty cool. Alright, to give you a little taste of what this looks like, it looks amazing. This is the first iteration of like an underground type spell, which is why it's pretty exciting. All right, we don't have like a lot of unique looking sounding spells in the game. Like, look at this, it's pretty cool. I'm literally underground, and then I come up here like a little mole machine, or I'm like a little mole rat. All right, it's pretty damn cool. It looks awesome. Okay, a lot of people are excited for this ability. Now, obviously, it sounds amazing. It looks cool. So those two boxes are checked off, but how is this going to affect this viability? All right, that's where the questions kind of start. So we see here, let's look at the first sentence here. Okay, burrow beneath the ground, becoming unattackable. So in some people's minds this might mean something else, which I'm telling you now it is completely not. So when Blizzard kind of does wordplay like this, wording different things differently from how they normally word them, like let's say, hey, this ability makes you immune to all attacks, it's probably for a good reason. Alright, and that means this ability is not going to grant you immunity. So you're still going to take damage, and you're still going to take dot damage or anything. You're not immune, you're just unattackable. Think of it as like attacking a mob. I need to target a mob and actually go up to this target and attack him with Storm Strike. I can't just press Storm Strike and expect my Storm Strike to hit this guy, randomly. No, I gotta target the mob. But let's say I use something like Sundering, where I don't have to target the mob unless he's just in front of me, then Sundering is going to hit that target no matter what, even if I'm not targeting him. So if a Rep Paladin Final Reckoning's you, if an Arcane Mage Arcane Explosion's you, you'll still probably take damage from even when you're in Burrow, which is kind of troll, but it's kind of whatever. All right, this is definitely a budget type ability of other abilities that are in the game. So let's say something like Wraith Walk or Nether Walk for Demon Hunters. It's definitely a budget ability, and that's a common theme for Shamans, at least Enhancement Shaman, where you get budget abilities and you get awkward abilities. Awkward abilities being stuff like Crash Lightning and Sundering, and budget abilities being kind of like Burrow and Hex. Alright, so that's where kind of questions arise. So now let's kind of talk about other stuff. So removing movement impairing effects is obviously a great thing. Mobility is a pretty significant struggle for Enhancement Shamans, and increasing movement speed by 50%. This is going to be an ability that's not necessarily meant for defensively in terms of, hey, mitigating damage. It's just probably going to be a really good ability for stuff like repositioning. Alright, positioning is key. Maybe you can use this to go behind a pillar. If you're out of range of your healer, or again, you're out of LOS for your healer, be it that you're playing stupid or he's playing stupid, you can burrow and get into a better position. Pretty cool, right? And the damage of it is definitely pretty interesting. 20,000 physical damage. That means it can be buffed through your stuff like Feral Spirits, your normal Feral Spirits, your Legacy to Frostwitch, if you for some reason just randomly have it active, which is pretty much impossible because Legacy to Frostwitch lasts 5 seconds. Along with your Burrow also lasts 5 seconds, so it's gonna be pretty impossible to have them lined up, but maybe there's some random bug that allows it. I don't know. Pretty cool. And it would be kind of interesting if Burrow procced Wind Fury. That'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be a pretty nice addition, just for a little bit of extra damage. But yeah, overall this ability is mainly meant for repositioning. It's not really meant for actual mitigation, actually living. So pros and cons, is this gonna be, I think the main question that a lot of people have is this going to be what we're looking for? As Enhancement Shamans, the one thing we've been asking for, we don't care about damage. The damage we can do is cool and great. Obviously, if they can tweak some stuff around to reposition where damage comes from, that'd be pretty cool. But in all, we're not really asking for damage. We're asking for survivability. We have healing. Our healing can be great. Obviously, it got indirectly nerfed, yada yada. But what we want legit for all these years is just more defensiveness, being able to mitigate damage. Our only wall being Astral Shift is not a bad CD, but the problem is that once that Astral Shift is gone, you're on a ticking time bomb. You understand? So be it adding another wall or having a bit of passive damage mitigation is something that we've been really looking for. And that was the case of having Ethereal Form. If you've seen my video previously, I talk about Ethereal Form and how it's a wasted potential because that ability is being removed in 10.1. So I really wish they tweaked up on Ethereal Form, but I guess Burrow is going to be our new and improved Ethereal Form. Okay, our kind of compensation for it. Now there are obviously other key factors of it. One being it's on a 2-minute cooldown. I really wish this was on a 1-minute CD or a 1.5 minute CD. Like, I think that's fair for it being a downscaled version of something like Wraithwalk or something like specifically Netherwalk. You know, I think that's pretty fair because the only key factor of it, the reason why it's downgraded is because you're unattackable, but that doesn't mean you can't be attacked by certain abilities. So like I said, Final Reckoning and Arcane Explosion, you're most likely, I haven't tested it yet, but from what I've seen, basing it off that, it's most likely you'd still take damage from AoE type abilities like that. Tickle, that washed up Shaman, was testing Burrow, and I'm pretty sure he was able to be rooted by an Earthgrab Totem. An Earthgrab Totem is a AoE root, so I would assume that AoE type abilities, be it CCs or damaging abilities, crowd control, whatever, would still work on you. So if a priest psychic fears you, psychic screams you, alright, even though it's not targeting you, against AoE radius, I'm pretty sure you would still be feared. Same thing if you were robbed. If you were robbed, you'd probably still get the actual effect of Ring of Peace and being knocked back. If you get rooted by, let's say, Mass Entanglement, obviously you have to target somebody to get Mass Entanglement off. But I mean, you can target, you know, my healer, and if I'm near my healer, I probably get Mass Entanglemented as well. So anything that kind of lines up with that Earthgrab Totem, from what I saw with Tickle's kind of review of the ability, I would assume other abilities like that would also work to counteract Burrow, which is a pretty big no, and a very big downside to this ability, because it sounds cool, it looks amazing, but it's one of those things where it's got a really significant downside, and compared to other specs or classes that aren't actually pressured and don't actually face repercussions from those downsides, it's a little bit irritating when we're the only spec that actually has to deal with that stuff. So it's interesting. All right, so the CD, the cooldown of it is a big not a big fan of that, and the fact of just not being still susceptible to attacks, at least specific attacks, is pretty troll. But like I said, it is just an ability that is granted for repositioning. So yeah, and again, people can counter that by rooting you or stopping you with whatever they have. So I would assume there are probably some abilities that, even though they fit in that category of AoE, roots, snares, impairing effects, probably wouldn't work against Burrow. Like, I don't know if a Frosty Cave would have Frostworm me and I'm caught in it. I don't know if that would freeze me, just because the animation is above ground and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe that's like an exception, but I'm pretty sure any ability that is AoE-esque, like Earthgrab Totem, or, you know, Psychic Scream, would work to counteract Burrow, unfortunately. But it's still questions raising in the air. And keep in mind, this is going to be a while till 10.1 comes. It's going to be coming in like June. So we have a lot of time, and Blizzard has a lot of time to fine-tune this ability to make it, you know, pretty reasonable for all these specs. And I do want to mention that Flame Shock is being changed. So Flame Shock is for Elemental and Enhancement, they both benefit from Control of Lava. And if you don't know what Control of Lava is, it is a Elemental Shaman PvP talent that makes it so your Flame Shock ticks faster and makes it so you have Dispel Protection whenever you cleanse Flame Shock off a target. It'll erupt the ground beneath the target, the person who purged the debuff. It'll erupt molten lava under that person, and it'll knock up in the air, dealing X amount of damage. So that is what every Shaman, or not Resto, but Elemental and Enhancement, are getting that Dispel Protection. Not getting the faster ticks, but getting that Dispel Protection. You can read it here. If Flame Shock is dispelled, a volcanic eruption wells up beneath the Dispeller, exploding for 30,000 damage. Pretty damn cool. Definitely very beneficial to your Lava Lash build. The reason why Lava Lash build, I hate Lava Lash build. I hate it for numerous reasons, and one of those is just the spell protection. You are reliant on your dots, not for the damage those dots do, but for the fact that you need those dots to actually do damage, so your Lava Lash does damage. So, you know, it's kind of it's kind of troll when your dots are just dispelled with no repercussions at all. There's no downsides to dispelling Enhancement Shaman Flame Shocks. So it is nice to seeing us melees getting a dispel protection. I don't think a melee that has dots has dispel protection. Like, I don't think Feral Druid or rogues have a dispel protection against their dots. That's just because they can apply it literally in 2 seconds. All right, every global. So yeah, that's just the video talking about Burrow. Again, the pros of it is being able to reposition, being able to get out of roots. Combine that with something like Pack Spirit is pretty cool. All right, Pack Spirit, again, 1 minute CD, gets you out of those snares, gets you out of the roots. It's pretty amazing. Having Thunderous Paws, I love Thunderous Paws personally. It makes Ghost Hoof actually useful instead of just being there to look pretty. Just being able to get out of snares, just really annoying snares, like let's just say like a Hamstring or a Frost Shock or a Frostbolt, whatever. Just getting a quick little outie is pretty nice. Combine that with your Pack Spirit, and now combining that with your Burrow is pretty cool. Now, I'm pretty sure they won't be able to. They'll probably be able to see this animation, which kind of sucks. It would be kind of cool if they didn't see the little rumbling animation, because then it'll make it a lot less predicting of where I could go, where I could be. But I mean, you know, you can't win them all. So yeah, definitely a very interesting, unique ability. I am a big fan of it, but there are obviously some issues that I can see in the future. Just like, again, being susceptible to a lot of the crowd control, CCs, damage, and pairing effects. For an ability that is supposed to counteract those effects, it's kind of trolled that it's actually the other way around, or those effects are actually countering me. So, you know, it is kind of troll, but we'll see how this works. Again, we have many months until 10.1 comes, and hopefully they can fine tune this ability. But guys, that's all I wanted to talk about. Hopefully you all had an amazing day. Hopefully you all saw a beautiful sunset. Let me know what you guys think about Burrow. Is it something that you're excited for? And if you have any other ideas for other potential PvP talents that Blizzard could add for shamans, or just enhancement shamans in general, leave it in the comments. Right, we got to push the ideas of having new and unique stuff for not only just shamans, but I mean for every class. All right, having new unique stuff is a breath of fresh air, and it makes the game PvP more enjoyable. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Hopefully you all had an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next life. You gotta follow the socials in the description, and yeah, hopefully I see you guys in Tomorrowland. Peace.